Good to see you guys again, and welcome to part 2 of the tutorial. In the first video, we covered all the core basics. In this one, we're going to dive a little deeper into each topic and explain the why behind everything. So, without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. This is how you get good Poison Warfare. Before you head out into Lamang, the first thing you should always do is stock up on medical supplies. If you're a solo player, a lot of people like to keep their medical bag in their safe container. Others prefer keeping it in their quick slots since meds are relatively cheap and easy to replace. If you're running with a squad though, I highly recommend keeping your med bag on your quick slots. Why? Because when your buddy decides to catch a bullet with his face, you'll actually be able to save him. To revive a teammate, get close enough to interact with them and select Diagnose. Before you start playing Combat Medic, make sure the area is safe. If you're still taking fire, clear the threat first or drag your teammate to cover before you start treating them. The treatment order is pretty much almost the same as healing yourself. First, stop any bleeding with a hemostat or tourniquet. After that, you can actually skip the bandages and go straight to a suture kit to repair their organs. If they still don't wake up, they are probably, low in blood, so give them a blood bag. Once they're back on their feet, let them finish treating the rest of their injuries while you provide security. After all, having two people staring at their inventory in the middle of a firefight usually doesn't end well. And just as a reminder, since patch 0.4.5, there are no more instant kills from headshots, heart shots, or even explosions. Instead, players will always enter a coma and have 8 minutes before they bleed out and die. That's plenty of time to secure the area, patch yourself up if needed, and then get your teammate back on their feet. So don't panic when your teammate hits the dirt. They're not dead, they're just taking a tactical nap. Let's dive deeper into wounds. Not literally. There are two types of wounds in Gray Zone Warfare, light and medium. Light wounds usually heal on their own after a short period of time. Depending on how you got them, they can still cause a fair amount of bleeding. So always do a quick health check and stop any bleeding with a hemostat or tourniquet if needed. Medium wounds won't heal by themselves. You'll need to bandage them, otherwise your PMC will stay in pain and keep reminding you about it every few seconds. And the wound markers with the skull? These are your kill shots, or I guess now they're coma shots. When you inspect a dead body, you'll see a skull icon on the health viewer. That simply tells you what ultimately caused the death. One thing to keep in mind is that the health viewer isn't a perfect replay of what happened. The body is displayed in a T-pose, but that's not how people are standing during a fight. Your arms are extended, you're constantly moving, and getting shot causes your character to flinch and twist. So don't be surprised if the bullet path looks like it came from some crazy angle. Remember, the game is still in early access, so some of the kill animations and body positions aren't always a perfect representation of what actually happened. Use it as a helpful reference, not a frame-by-frame replay of the fight. Now let's talk about healing stims. Each healing stim comes in two versions. The V2 variants heal a larger percentage over a longer period of time. Once activated, they'll keep working even if you take more damage during the healing process. Each stim specializes in a different type of recovery. EPO regenerates blood, HPR3 heals organs, RE12 repairs bones. Every stim has its own drawbacks, so make sure you read the item description before you start injecting yourself with everything in your backpack. Unless you want to end up like this guy.
Oh yeah! Hola amigos, soy Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, don't be that guy. Finally, we got boosters. Strychnine is by far the most popular. It lets you sprint continuously for a full minute, making it perfect for repositioning or escaping a bad situation. The downside is heart damage, and it won't help if you're carrying enough loot to sink a boat. Next up we got Methylphenidate. It reduces arm and body stamina drain, while phenethylline, got it right, yeah, increases stamina regeneration. Just like the healing stims, both come with side effects. So what's the point of using stims if they all have drawbacks? Simple, they can save your life. When you're pinned down, low in health, or desperately trying to stay in the fight, the benefits usually outweigh the consequences. They're incredibly strong during PvP, but they can be absolutely clutch in PvE when things go sideways. Next up we have moxifloxacin, activated charcoal, and the detox stim. All three help deal with intoxication. Can you die from intoxication? No, not yet at least. But don't ignore it because the negative effects can seriously mess with your performance, so it's still something you will definitely want to treat. And just like the other stims we covered, the detox stim also comes with its own drawbacks, so be sure to read the description before using it. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck is this little pouch next to the stims? That's the injector case. What's so special about it? Absolutely nothing. I only bring this up because a lot of people expect it to work like injector cases from other games. Right now the injector case is exactly what it sounds like. A storage case. It stores injectors. That's it. Unlike medical bags, you can't put it in your quick slot and instantly use the stims inside. If you bring an injector case with you, you'll have to open your inventory and manually use the stim. If you want to quick use your stims, then they need to be inside of one of the medical bags, and that medical bag has to be assigned to one of your quick slots. So until the injector case gets an upgrade someday, it's basically just a fancy portable stim organizer. This section is going to be a quick one since we already covered compatible parts in part 1. There really isn't much more to gun building itself. Instead, let's talk about magnifiers. Throughout the 0.4 patches, magnifiers have gone through multiple changes. A few updates fixed some things and broke a few others, making them a little bit more confusing than they should be. So if you ever looked at the highlighted compatible parts and thought, why the heck doesn't this fit? Don't worry, I'll clear it up. First off, Banshee sells all the magnifiers starting at Reputation level 3, with a few more unlocked at level 4. The first ones you'll get are the Flip Mount Low, Flip Mount High, and the STS mount. The flip mounts only work with the AIM.3x Magnifier, and the STS mount is made specifically for the EOTech G33 and G45s. Once you max out Banshee, you'll unlock the fast FTC mounts. These are flip-to-center mounts designed for optics that sit on risers. The 30mm FTC only accepts the AIM.3x, while the Omni FTC can use both the EOTech G33s, which are 3x magnifiers, and the G45s, which are the 5x magnifiers. Here are some good examples of why magnifier compatibility can be so confusing. We'll use these three optics as examples: the EOTech EXPS3, the Holosun 510C, and the PLAD-1X. As you can see, all three sit at different heights. The EXPS3 sits the highest, the PLAD is somewhere in the middle, and the 510C sits the lowest. This is why not every optic lines up with every magnifier, even if the game tells you the parts are compatible. The Flip Mount High and the STS mount works best with optics that sit around the same height as the EXPS3. The 510C is where things start getting a little weird. While it technically works with the Flip Mount Low, the alignment in ADS is, well, a little wonky. Throw a riser on it and try the Flip Mount High and it's still not quite right. The only combo for this to work is actually using a riser for the optic and the STS mount. Then we have the PLAD-1X. Since it sits somewhere between the EXPS3 and the 510C, it's in an awkward spot. It technically works with the high flip mount and the STS mount, but the sight picture is still misaligned when aiming down sights. Adding a riser doesn't help either. In fact, it just makes it incompatible with everything. So until these compatibility issues get ironed out, don't always trust the highlighted parts on the vendor screen. The game might say they fit, but that doesn't always mean they'll line up properly once you ADS. Remember, it's still early access, so expect a few quirks like this until the system gets refined. Until then, welcome to early access. Oh yeah, totally forgot, the FTC mounts, or flip to center mounts. They can be paired with pretty much anything that's on a high mount. So just remember the simple rule. Low profile optic, use the flip mounts or the STS mount. Optic sitting high on a high mount or riser, the STS mount is your go-to. Easy enough, at least until the next patch decides otherwise. So like I said in part 1, shot placement is king. Pair the right ammo with the right shot placement, and you can put down just about any enemy as quickly as possible. Headshot should always be the first choice. Now I know it can be frustrating when you land on what looks like a perfect headshot and the enemy is somehow still standing. Remember, distance, velocity, and impact angle all matter. Helmets also have a chance, and I want to emphasize a chance, to stop or deflect incoming rounds. It's not guaranteed. On top of that, the highest rated helmets currently available are only level 3A and the AMP one being level 3A+. Even then, they're not really rated to reliably stop rifle rounds. So let me demonstrate here the ballistics of AP rounds and hollow point rounds. If your playstyle is aiming for the fleshy bits, then SP and HP BT rounds are usually your best friends. They create massive wound cavities and can absolutely destroy internal organs when placed correctly. Armor-piercing rounds, on the other hand, are built to defeat armor. Just remember, once they get through, they can overpenetrate if you don't hit something vital. So don't just aim for center mass because that's what every other shooter has taught you. Aim for the heart, lungs, brain, or other vital organs and let your ammo do what it's designed to do. That's the difference between shooting at an enemy and shooting to stop them. So like I said, headshots and heart shots will put the enemy down instantly. But what about other vital areas like the lungs, liver, and the guts? Let's start with the lungs. To instantly down an enemy, you need to hit both lungs. Obviously, getting shot in the lungs should probably make someone rethink their career choice instead of immediately turning around and beaming you from across the map. But hey, it's early access. The AI has come a long way. They've gone from barely having any hit reactions to actually seeing stagger animations on limbs in 0.4. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting there. Baby steps, you know? Now, if you're shooting from the side, an armpit shot can hit those vital areas and instantly put the AI down. As for the guts, these are a little different. A gut shot usually won't drop an AI immediately, but it can cause heavy bleeding, meaning they'll go down much faster if you keep the pressure on. And here's something important to understand. For PMCs, taking enough damage to the gut and bleeding out can eventually put you into a coma. AI don't have a coma state. So when an AI takes enough damage and starts bleeding heavily, they'll actually have to bleed all the way out before they go down. That's why I always recommend keep shooting until they stay down. You can sit there and wait for them to bleed out, but personally, I'd rather not give the guy I'm shooting at a chance to recover and shoot me back. So let's take a look at some examples of proper shot placement paired with the right ammunition. For this demonstration, we're going to use the AK-12. The 545x39 has a pretty decent variety of ammo in-game. BP and BS are fairly close in performance, but BP has a slightly better velocity. So that's what we're going to use. For a soft point equivalent, 545 Wolf would be the closest option, but we're going to use HP rounds instead since they can create much larger wound channels. Both rounds are really good at what they are designed to do. BP is your armor penetrating option, while HP is designed to cause massive internal damage. So we'll start with BP. This is also going to give us a chance to look at overpenetration on the inspect screen. Since the AI here at Fortnite typically wears NIJ 3 armor with some of the officers wearing the 3++ variants. For this demonstration, we're going to stick strictly to body shots. This is mainly for anyone who has trouble consistently, landing headshots. If you open up your health screen, you can actually see where the different organs are located. The AI uses the same base body model, so you can use your own health viewer as a reference. For example, if you aim directly at the center of the chest, you have a chance of hitting the heart, which can put down the AI. As you can see here in the health viewer, you can see where the bullet went through. Right here is just for consistency's sake. Another heart shot. And here's another. This one also penetrated all the way through. Right here's a good example of hitting both lungs from the side. I hit the bone and it went straight through his lungs. And of course, AP rounds can also go through thin walls. Once we start increasing distance, you'll notice that it can take more rounds to get the same result. That's where things like velocity, range, and armor start becoming more important. So, a little over 100 meters right here. We'll just dispatch these two AI. That might be the headshot. And then we'll check their bodies. Right. Now let's switch over to HP rounds. For these, some of the best areas to target are the gut and armpit, where you can get around the armor and reach those juicy internal organs. And here's where things get interesting. The bullet doesn't necessarily stop after hitting one organ. It can interact with bones and other parts of the body, potentially changing its path and causing additional damage to other organs. As you can see here, HP rounds can cause significant damage to multiple organs when you hit unarmored areas. Here's a couple more for consistency. I'll try to shoot both sides. And this time it got both lungs. Here's another. 1 and 2. And same result. Wait. Dad? Oh, no you don't. I've been searching all over for you. Where are you? Oh shit! No, I didn't mean to. No, you shot first. Oh, sit down. I'm busy. Oh god. Please be alive. Oh no. It looked like a headshot. No. Anyway, shot placement with the right ammo matters. Now aiming for the guts, it could be kind of tricky. You gotta either keep shooting or you have to wait for them to bleed out. If you choose to wait it out, then gotta find something to do before they actually bleed out, which it takes a long time, as you can see right here. So again, it's not always about having the biggest or most expensive gun. Use the ammo for what it's designed to do, put the rounds where they need to go, and let the game's ballistics do the rest. But let's finish this off with some commonly asked questions from the community. Let's start with, how do I get blueprint tasks again? Like most tasks with the exception of Star Town tasks, the range and rifle or the chameleon tasks are repeatable. The task can only become available after you've found the magazine for the first time. But if you fail it, you can't simply go back to the magazine and just pick it up again. Instead, it goes back into the task pool for that region. Once you've unlocked that region, you need to complete or fail other side tasks until the chameleon task rotates back into the pool. So basically, keep doing tasks until Iron Jesus decides you're worthy. Why does it say I have missing tasks for a region I've already completed? Some tasks have prerequisites before they'll appear. There are also some tasks where you have to choose between two vendors. If you picked one for the first time, you'll need to repeat that task and choose the other vendor. I know you've been ignoring Artisan, don't you dare piss off mommy, the boss lady. Also, don't forget about long-term tasks, or LTCs. These count toward your region's progression as well. So yes, good luck finding those damn hard drives. If you're trying to be a completionist, I wouldn't recommend failing every task just to rotate the pool. Instead, try completing tasks again. Some tasks are also tied to prerequisites in other regions, so failing everything can actually make things more complicated. Why don't some main tasks come back? Some main tasks like hazardous treasures or terminal initiative can get pushed out of the task pool if you completed or failed them too many times in a row. When that happens, you'll need to complete some tasks you haven't repeated recently in the region before the ones you're looking for can rotate back in. I actually ran into this myself with terminal initiative. I had repeated it like 5 times in a row for my Cursed Gun series and it eventually stopped showing up. So I had to complete a couple other tasks that I hadn't repeated or hadn't repeated in a while to get TI back into the pool. And because, of course, we're talking about terminal initiative, those tasks were in Midnight Sapphire, Tiger Bay, and FN. Because apparently the game decided I haven't suffered enough. So if a task you're looking for isn't showing up, don't panic and start failing everything. Complete some of the other tasks in your pool and give the rotation a chance to refresh. How do I turn attachments on and off separately? Can I bind different keys to them? Unfortunately, not yet. There currently isn't a way to give each tactical attachment its own keybind. T controls all the tactical attachments on your weapon, whether it's a flashlight, laser, IR light, or a combination of them. If you only want one attachment active, you have to hold T. Select the attachment you want, exit the menu, and then press T to toggle it on. And yeah, this gets really annoying once you start running more than, 2 attachments. You can either keep manually toggling them, or just embrace the Christmas tree gun and turn everything on at once. Hopefully, separate keybinds are something we get in a future update. How can I see or spot AI and players better? Unlike other games where cranking your FOV to the max can help you see more, Gray Zone is a little different. In GZW, decreasing your FOV can actually make spotting AI and players easier, especially at longer distances. Here are some side-by-side comparisons. Play around with the slider and see which FOV works best for you. There's no single best setting. Pick the one that gives you the clearest view. How do you use the GZWTACMAP? This? Well, now this one, I honestly don't know why or how, but apparently some of you need me to teach you how to use the TAC map, so here we are. For those who don't know, GZWTACMAP is an interactive map that shows you pretty much everything you could possibly need to find everything in Lamang. It's one of the most up-to-date resources available, so let me show you how to use it. On the main page, you'll see two maps, the full map of Lamang and YBL1, which is the bunker. The YBL map is pretty straightforward once you explore the area yourself. The full Lamang map though, can look a little overwhelming at first. On the home tab, you'll find all the different categories you can toggle on and off. For example, let's say you want to find cop locations or the gun blueprint magazines. Just select those categories and they'll appear directly on the map. Now, if you're looking for good loot locations to plan a route, you can also toggle specific containers. Click on the individual icons and you can see the pictures of what the container looks like and where it's located, which makes finding them a lot easier. And there are a ton more categories you can scroll through and choose from. Now, if you're looking for tasks, just head over to the Tasks tab. Here you'll find a list of all the tasks in game. You can search for them by name or browse them by vendor or location. Find the task you're looking for, click on it, and TACMAP will take you directly to the relevant location. It will also show you the locations and steps you need to complete the task. One of the best features is that you can mark tasks as completed, which makes it much easier to keep track of what you're missing. You'll also see an icon for choice tasks, so you can keep track of those as well. If you're still somehow lost after all that, each task also has a link to a YouTube guide that can walk you through it. And finally, we have the Key tab. This gives you a complete list of keys in the game, where to find them, and what they're used for. It'll also tell you whether a key is required for a task and whether it only becomes available once the task is active. Just like the Tasks tab, you can also mark the keys you've collected, so you can keep track of what you're still missing. See? Easy, right? You officially have no longer an excuse for being lost. Shout out to Tucent for creating and maintaining the TACMAP and making all this information available to the community. If you want to learn more about Gray Zone Warfare, especially the lore, the background of each vendor, and all the little details you probably didn't know existed, definitely check out GZW Wiki. Huge shout out to Ereshkigo for maintaining it and keeping all that information available for the community as well. The community also hosts events every week, run by our awesome community game masters. If you're looking for something different to do in GZW without risking your live server stash, check out GZW events. And yes, you can even earn an exclusive moral patch. If you ever need help with anything, whether it's technical issues, in-game questions, or just wanting to share your experiences and feedback, don't be afraid to join the official GZW Discord. It's packed with resources and the community is always willing to lend a hand. And with that, that's gonna wrap up this 2-part tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribed. It really helps me out and lets me know these guides are worth making. I hope this tutorial gives you a better understanding of GZW and more importantly, helps keep you alive a little longer in Lamang. As always, every move matters.